Even though that thing shot me down, I couldn't feel any pain. I was driven by hatred. I could not die, not yet. That bot has a surprise coming. I'll get that girl back and then kill that stupid bot. He's done nothing but get in my way. I'll let him go for now, but I'll have my revenge. I felt the bullet hole in my forehead, then groaned in anger. I've been lying still for hours, so I decided to get up. It was hard to move. My body felt weak and I knew I wasn't alive. But I didn't care, because I can't feel pain, and I can't die again. I staggered out of the barn into the sunlight. I felt my eyes burn from the light, but it didn't hurt. I started walking just anywhere. I don't know where to start looking, so I just traveled forward. A few hours later, I saw a road up ahead. I envied the bot for a second, for the fact that it could calculate directions and figure out where it was. I barely remember how I got into that barn or how I found it. I stepped onto the road. I looked down for the first time, looked down at my clothing. I looked like I had been in a struggle. My clothes were ripped, but I appeared to have no injuries besides my headshot wound. I looked very pale. I somehow enjoyed my appearance. I felt like I looked scary. I wasn't worried about being seen. I would just kill anyone who sees me and approach me. No one was going to stop me on my mission. I couldn't die, or even feel pain for that matter. I walked on for hours more. Eventually, hours turned to days, and days turned to weeks. I walked on. A few more days went by before I found a town. There was something strange about this town, though, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Maybe I was just that stupid, but I couldn't be. I knew I was dead, after all. I approached the town and figured out what was wrong with this town. It was abandoned. But they didn't just leave. They deliberately planned out the move to someplace new, and organized before they did. I decided to check the place out. Maybe I could find some weapons or tools to use for my hunt. It would possibly take a few hours to go through everything. I walked up to the house and tried. I walked up to the nearest house and tried the knob. The door opened. Inside, everything was clean, perfect, and empty. No signs of struggle, no corpses, no terrible odors. I walked in. There was an empty hallway ahead of me with 5 doors to my right and left. I walked to the one closest to me on my right. But just before I touched the door handle, the door swung open and a big burly man in his 30s appeared with a revolver aimed at my head. My face was void of emotion. I wasn't even scared. I felt no emotion. "Get the fuck out of my damn house, boy," the man said in a threatening tone. At that moment, I felt an intense burst of rage and hatred. I grabbed the revolver and yanked it out of his hand. I threw it, grabbed his head, and bashed it into the wall across the hall. I pulled him back, uppercutted him, and ripped his throat out with my teeth while his neck was exposed. The man screamed in pain and terror, and I shoved him to the ground with almost supernatural strength. He fell hard on his ass, and I threw myself on top of him, hands swinging furiously. I pounded his face with my fist until all I saw was blood, brain, and bone. My hands were soaked by the time I was through. All of a sudden, I got terribly hungry. The first thing I thought was to eat the remains of this man I killed. I dug my already blood-soaked fingers into his brain and pulled out wet chunk after chunk of brain as I shoved them into my mouth and swallowed. I almost finished his brain when I realized I had enough. I got up and started scavenging for supplies and weapons. I searched the whole house and found only a sonic laser gun. I figured that was good enough and left the house. I already got my weapon of choice, so I didn't think it would be worthwhile to search the whole town. Besides, I'm hunting an artificially intelligent bot. I left the town and continued on my way. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm going to find that bot and rip its circuit board out.